We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong.
Okay, so went to the gun shop today. Went ahead and picked up some ammo. They had some 22. They only let me get 3 boxes. 1 box per person, 3 people. So that's what I got. CCI, standard velocity, 40 grains. Yeah, you know, good price, not a big deal. I also had some 5.56. They had the green tip penetrator, that's all he had. He's trying to sell it as armor piercing. And which one of you motherfuckers in the military hasn't shot this shit at the range every time you go? Yeah, like I said, about $50 for 50 rounds. Not even packaged very professionally, just in a little plastic baggie. Also wanted to go over the CZ with you guys after that little ammo debate. This is the main subject of the video. We're going to go over some things with it, do's, don'ts, and all that. So let's unload it. .762 by 2.5. This was military use. It's got the nice little marking on there that says it was used and then remilled and all sorts of fun shit over and over and over again. So here we're going over the decocker. Don't use that. It's not safe. No, so safety does work, but again, that decocker will allow it to slam forward and can hit the firing pin and can go through that block, firing pin block. Now, I always just use the old-fashioned method of decocking my 11. Let's go ahead and break her down. We're going to pull on these 2 detents here, and our slide pops off. Now notice the barrel came with the slide. It's not so attached to the receiver, and it's also not loose running around. Now that is a portion of when you pull the trigger that pushes up and hits our firing pin retainer, which is also the firing pin block. Okay, so notice we're going to throw our safety on. That's not supposed to push the block up. It doesn't really move. It kind of wiggles a bit. Safety does keep the hammer back once again, but notice it allows that hammer to come forward pretty much all the way. So there still is a risk. Now we're going to go ahead and take apart the rest of the slide of the barrel. Notice the spring goes around the barrel. It doesn't have a pin. Now they say to use this magazine as a tool to take it apart. Don't do that. You're going to ruin your magazine, and it's just not going to be fun. So we're going to use a bayonet here as a flat nose screwdriver, just to pop it out. See, we've got those little locking rollers there that will keep you from getting into it. So you have to get that groove there. So we got the barrel and the spring. Spring goes around the barrel. Notice our rollers are still good to go. Just playing with it for a minute. It's coated pretty heavily in synthetic motor oil. That's what I use on this guy till I can try out some frog lube or something like that on him. Just remove the firing pin, push down our block here, and tilt the muzzle up. Hey, look, here's our firing pin. This is a hardened firing pin. This is not a stock firing pin. With these C&R guns, these guys actually didn't have a properly tempered pin, and it was real brittle and could break if you dry fired it, or even if you were just shooting it. So here we go. You also, when you pull the firing pin out, you want to make sure you don't lose this guy, because he can just fall out. So, and it also comes with this little spring in there, and that spring is usually the thing that's going to cause you problems. Now, let's make sure we don't lose that guy. We're going to put him back in here. Make sure we put it in the correct way. It's half moon. and then we're going to push it down. We're not going to push it all the way down, we're just going to push it in a bit, and then we'll install our firing pin, rotate it a little bit, and he slides right in. We're going to make sure it goes all the way down through the slide, through the bolt face, make sure it's popping out there. So push it down, make sure it's coming through. I can see it, you can't really tell on camera, but it's good to go. So it'll fire now. We know the firing pin's in good, it's not going to fall out the back. It's retained very well at this point. Now we're going to go ahead and feed our spring back onto the barrel. Throw this guy back together. I always push it in just about hand tight until it's about ready to lock. And now we need to unlock our rollers here so we can get it in the rest of the way. So up comes the bayonet and push in. Good to go. Ta-da! Notice right around the barrel, very solid slide, sharp back here like most of them, and you can see your firing pin, nice and solid. Now to reinstall it, it's quite simple. Get a look at this guy, push down, pull back, done. How fancy is that? Simple. Functions check real quick. Dry fire, good. Safety's on. Oh, hit the decocker. Big whoops. And safety's working, so everything's good to go. And we're pretty much done. So I'm going to go ahead and load this guy back up. Just remember, go ahead and pick you up some new magazines. If you hadn't seen my previous video, you can get them at Ames Surplus. You might have to search for them. But until next time, out here.
Watch out!